For several days now, I've been receiving comments or messages about the 2023 JET program application, especially from the aspiring applicants from the Philippines. One of the common comments or questions that I receive is about the application form provided by the JET program Philippines, which is now in PDF version. As compared to the previous years, it was in PDF Word file, wherein the applicant or the aspiring applicant can just download them, handwrite the information needed, or just edit the Word file or the Word document with their necessary information. But for the 2023 JET program Philippines, they provided only an editable PDF version of the file of the application form. So some of the aspiring applicants from the Philippines are having trouble in filling out the form. So for today's video, I'm going to share how to fill out the editable PDF version of the application form in Google Chrome, in Microsoft Edge, and in Mozilla Firefox. Though I already have one before, but it was in English and in Filipino or in Tagalog. But I receive also comments or messages suggesting or requesting me to make English version of the guide in filling out the application form. So I'll just hit two birds with one stone in this video. So again, for this video, I'm going to use the announcement from the Embassy of Japan in the Philippines regarding the application for the 2023 JET program, particularly the Assistant Language or ALT position. So while watching this video, I suggest that you open the website and open the application form as well as the attachment chart sheet in filling out the application form. So I already have here the application form and the chart sheet. So this is for Microsoft Edge. I also have here a file from Google Chrome, and this one is Mozilla Firefox. So let's see how the form differs for each browser. So let's start with the form using the Microsoft Edge. So again, to remind everyone, do not staple the application form or any document that you will be using or that you will be submitting for your JET program application. Do not staple. You can bind them by clip, but not staple. All right, let's proceed with the specific instructions. It says here, for number 1, the application should be typed, if possible, or neatly handwritten in block letters. For this instruction, what I understand is that if you type it, it's okay if your entries are not in all capital letters, but if you decide to handwrite your information, they should be in block letters. But just to be safe, just to be sure, regardless if you type it or if you handwrite it, just use block letters or all capital letters. Number 2 instruction is numbers should be in Arabic numerals. Arabic numerals meaning like this, like these numbers, like these numbers. Number 3, years should be written using the Anno Domini system. The Anno Domini system is the Western way of writing years, because in Japan they have a different way in writing. The year, it depends on the reign of the emperor. But for the JET program application, please use the Anno Domini system, as in the 4-digit years like 2023, 2022, 1992, 1985, something like that. And the number 4, proper nouns should be written in full and not abbreviated. So you should be able to write or to spell out abbreviations or initialisms. Alright, so let's proceed to number 1, position type for which you're applying. Of course, again, I'm talking about the Assistant Language Teacher position or the ALT position. So let's check ALT. So again, I'm using the application form, the editable PDF version of JET program Philippines. I believe in other participating countries, they do have also PDF version of the application form, but they're not editable. So they can just type them or handwrite them, unlike in the application form of JET program Philippines. So next, number 2, it's the interview location. So for the interview location, using the 2023 JET program application form chart sheet, you have to enter the code for your interview location. So if your location is not listed, enter its name in full. Again, regardless of where you are living now, you must have an interview at the Embassy or Consulate General of Japan in the country whose nationality you possess. So, for example, let's see. We have here for Australia, Canada, USA, Ireland, Jamaica, New Zealand, Singapore, South Africa, United Kingdom, and other countries. So since Philippines is not found in this list, so I'm gonna enter this 9999 code and then write the designated city or interview location. Let's have 9999 and then I'm gonna write here the specific location. I'm gonna say Manila, Philippines. There you go. So this is for Microsoft Edge. Let's try entry in Chrome. I'm gonna check ALT and then I'm gonna write 9999 and then Manila, Philippines. So one of the problems that I heard for those who are trying to edit the PDF version is that after they typed their entries, the words or the information turns gray. Yeah, it turns gray, but I don't know how it will look if we try to print it out. Let's see. Okay, it's still good. It's still readable. I'm gonna cancel it. This is for Edge. This is for Chrome. I'm gonna try Mozilla Firefox. So ALT and then interview location is 9999 and then Manila, Philippines. So just the same, nothing changed. So I guess let's just continue the guide using Microsoft Edge. Alright, so let's go to number 3, name. It says here, please write your name exactly as it appears in your passport. Make sure that the name that you write in this application form is the same as how it appears in your passport. If you don't have your passport yet, maybe a legal document that you can use, say birth certificate. So let's say De La Cruz. First name is Juan, and then the middle name is Perez. So Juan De La Cruz, Juan Perez De La Cruz. And the next, number 4, for the sex, male, female, or others. So even if you select other, there may be procedures in Japan where you will be required to select your gender, either male or female. So I select male for this, and then for date of birth. So again, for the year, you have to use the Anno Domini system or the Western style. So let's say 1980, and then January 1st, 1980, and then your age as of April 1st, 2023. So that's 43 years old. Next one is your nationality. Again, you have to refer to the attached chart sheet for the nationality code. So this is chart number 2, nationality. Make sure that you write the correct code. So what's written on the left column is the country, the full name of the country, and on the right column is the abbreviation or the code for that country. So for example, the Philippines is here, so the code is PH. Let's go. So your code is PH. If your nationality is not listed, enter its full name. Enter its name in full. So if you entered PH here, you don't need to enter anything on the blank. Second page, so dual nationality. The question is, do you possess dual nationality with Japan? Because if you say yes, I'm afraid you have to renounce one of your nationalities, which is Japanese, because you can't participate in the JET program if your nationality is Japanese. So I have to check no. Number 7, home state and hometown. Again, refer to chart number 3 in the attached file. By the way, the attached sheet, the chart sheet, must not be submitted or should not be submitted So for chart number 3, the hometown and home state, province, county, department, or district. We only have here for Australia, for Canada, United States. Other than that, so if you're coming from any of those countries, if your hometown is not from those 3 countries, as it says here, if no abbreviation is listed, please enter its name in full. So because we're from the Philippines, we don't have our home state. We can just write here our hometown. For example, Manila, Philippines. Or let's see, Cebu, Philippines. And the next, number 8, your present address and telephone number, fax number. It's important to have your fax number in Japan, and then the email address. So you can just write here in full. You know your address, you know your present address, so please write them here. Email address. Number 9, criminal history. So just answer this question. Have you been arrested, charged, and or convicted of any crime other than a minor traffic offense, including juvenile offenses? So you can check yes or no. It depends on you. So I'm gonna check no. So if you checked yes, please explain in detail on a separate sheet. So you have to provide a separate sheet explaining about your criminal history. Number 10, it's the current occupation for students, your university, or if you are already employed, write the name of your employer or your company. So for example, you're already a teacher, you are currently a teacher, let's say, and then write the name of your school or your employer, let's say San Andres High School. Okay, so you're a teacher from San Andres High School. So it turned gray again. But don't worry, because when you try to print it out, it's fine. Number 11, educational background. So for 11A, academic degree, if you are to graduate this year, please check the degree you are going to earn. So I also received some questions about this. So for example, one aspiring applicant is currently enrolled in their master's, but they just started their graduate studies. So again, if you are to graduate this year, you can check that. But if not yet, just check bachelor's degree. So bachelor's degree is the minimum requirement for JET program. So but again, let me emphasize this. If you are to graduate this year, say you already finished your bachelor's degree and then you're enrolled in your last semester for your master's or for your doctorate degree, and then you are set to graduate anytime before departure for the JET program, you can check master's. But if you just started, the bachelor's degree. 11B for academic specialization. So this is also one of the frequently asked questions about how to fill out the application form. So let's check the chart again for the codes. For the chart 4 for academic specialization. So for example, since our example earlier is Juan de la Cruz is currently a teacher, so maybe it's safe to say that Juan's academic specialization is under social sciences, that's education. The code is 62. So we can write here code 62. If you specialize in 2 subjects or double major or had a subspecialization or minor, please write them below. Using chart 4 of the chart sheet, please enter an appropriate 2-digit code for your specialization. In the case of other codes, for example, 16, 29, 40, 59, or 80, that's when you have to write or specify them here. Next, let's go to number 11, the academic record. So for academic record, you only need to write the date of your high school graduation. Let's say the graduation is March 1998 for example. That's your graduation date in high school. And then the only things that you need to write on the table are your higher level of education. So if you went to the university to earn your bachelor's degree, say bachelor's degree, and then you also have your master's degree, like that, and then doctorate if you finish your doctorate degree. So otherwise, you can just have the bachelor's degree if you haven't finished your master's yet, or your doctorate. So name of institution and location. So again, remember that for official or for proper nouns, they should not be abbreviated and they should be written in full. For example, your bachelor's degree, you earn it from the University of the Philippines. And then the location is, say, Los Baños. So I think that's enough already. That's fine. And then write dates attended. So you only have to write here the month and the year. So let's say June. So June is 6, and then 1998 to, say, March of 2002. And then duration of attendance, say 4 years. Major field of study. So for the major field of study, you can just write here education. And then for the degree or diploma, bachelor in secondary education. And then let's say you already had your master's degree. You already have your master's degree. And then say De La Salle University, Dasmariñas. And then when the dates attended, for example, June 2008 to March 2015. So that's 7 years. I don't know. This is just an example. Let's say major field of study, language teaching, say language teaching. And then your degree or your diploma, Master of Arts in Education. There you go. And then let's go to the employment history. Oh, by the way, for the academic record, if you have more than 3 higher level of education that you want to include in this application form, you can just copy this table format. So if you have more than 3 information or entries to include in this table, you have to make a table on a separate sheet, following the format here. So like this. And then enter all the necessary information. And then for number 12, so if you have more than 3 employment histories or employment experiences, just copy the table format here. Of course, on the first column is the name of your employer, and then the period, job title, job description, and the hours per week. So let's see. Name of employer and location. So for example, San Andres High School. And then period. So from when? Let's say June 2002 until... So in filling out the employment history, you have to begin with the most recent employment. So it's yes here. If you're still working in San Andres High School, you can just write here present, and then your job title is, say, teacher 1 or teacher 2, teacher 3, and then your job description, it's, since the space is limited, you can just write here classroom teacher. And then how many hours per week do you teach? Say 25 hours. And then before San Andres High School, say you also had an experience teaching at a preschool, say Twinkle Twinkle, okay, nursery school. And then for what period? Say June 2004 to March 2010. And then what was your job title in there? So let's see, teacher assistant. And then your job description, teaching assistant. Assistant. And how many hours per week? Let's say 40 hours per week. So again, if the spaces provided are not enough, you can just attach a new copy or a new page. Because in the previous years, it was possible to insert columns or insert rows, but for the editable PDF version, it's not possible. So, as per instruction from the JET Program Philippines, you have to attach a separate sheet following the table format from the application form. Now let's go to number 13, teaching or coaching background. So again, if the provided space does not suffice, you may attach an additional page following the table format below. So classroom teaching. Classroom teaching, you were in a real classroom, like you were employed in a school. Name of organization or name of the school. So if you already had here your employment history, San Andres High School, that's a classroom teaching experience, so you still have to write that here. And then from what period? Same as in the employment history to present. And then job title, you just copy it. Say teacher 1, job description, classroom teacher, and hours per week, 25 hours. And then other teaching or tutoring experience. So since you also have an experience teaching at a nursery school, you just copy what you wrote in there. So let's say Twinkle Twinkle nursery school, and then same information as what you wrote in here. And then teacher training. So for those who don't have bachelor's degree or master's degree in education, but you have units in education or in teaching, so you can write in here. For example, for your teacher training, you earned your certificate course in teaching. So let's say University of Manila. And then when did you earn that certification? Say June 2004 to March 2005. And then course description. Yeah, for the course description, again, since the space is limited, you can just write there, describe it as briefly as possible. So let's say certificate course for teaching. That's it. And then do you possess the following? Say teacher certification. If you are a licensed professional teacher, check yes. If you don't have it, check no. And then for the TESOL qualification, if you have, you can just check yes. If you don't, check no. If you are currently studying TEFL or TESOL, you can just check in progress. So for example, I already have my TEFL qualification. I check yes. For 13B, it's not applicable for ALT, so just skip that. And then your proposed direction of career and its relation to the JET program. So maybe on this part, you can just write here, why do you want to join JET program? And then what are your plans after joining the program? So again, since you are writing using all capitals, you can just write in all capitals just to be safe. just to be safe with the instruction of writing all capital letters. So you can write here in all capital letters. That's for number 14. For number 15, Japan-related studies. So if you have a background in studying Japanese language, you can write here the name of the institution and the course title. For example, Nihongo Center Foundation. Let's say Basic Japanese. And then period of study, for example, from June 2008 to July 2010. And then the content, say Basic Japanese Grammar, Kanji, and Reading. You can also write there JLPT preparation. Alright. And then study of Japanese history, culture. So if you had, say, a Japanese course back in the university or in college, you can just write here. Say Ateneo de Manila University. And then, your course title. So I don't know the specific course titles, but let's just say Japan 101. And then right there the period of study and the contents. For number 16, you have to evaluate your level in Japanese language. So insert an X where appropriate in the following blank spaces. So just be honest with this. Anyway, you will have an optional Japanese test or interview if you advance to the next level. If you don't have any idea about the Japanese language, don't be afraid, don't be shy to write X under none. So you have here the description for introductory, elementary, intermediate, semi-advanced, or advanced level. Again, just be true. Don't be scared. Don't be afraid. And then if you already have your JLPT certificate, please write here, say JLPT N5 if you have. But if you don't, it's okay to just leave it blank. Number 17 is international or intercultural experience at home or abroad. So for example, you were able to go abroad, say Korea. So for example, you went to Korea to join, say, a leadership seminar, to attend a leadership training. And then you can just write here the date. For example, you traveled abroad before. You went to Spain. So what was the purpose? Say, what's the purpose? Just, you went there as a tourist. So when did you go there? And then let's say you went to China, and then you went there to join a math contest. So, and then when? Number 18 is your language proficiency. Letter A for your first language. So if your first language is English, you write there English. If you are a bilingual, other than English, what's your first language? For example, Filipino or Tagalog. Or if you are multilingual, which of those languages is your first language? So I'm gonna leave it here for Filipino or Tagalog. And then for foreign language proficiency, what other foreign languages do you know aside from your first language? So for example, you know a little Japanese, you just write here Japanese, and to what extent or to what level. Say you know Chinese, and then evaluate your level of Chinese language proficiency. So again, just be true, don't be scared, don't be shy to admit if your language proficiencies are poor, or if you are confident that you have excellent language proficiency of that particular foreign language. And then number 18, other activities. So if you have honors, awards, or scholarships, so you can just write here, best in attendance, or the outstanding employee of the year. So you just write those honors, awards, scholarships, or distinctions in number 19 in this space. But again, reminder, you must not submit the certificates of recognition, of awards, of merit that you received, that you got when you received those awards. And then for letter B, your extracurricular or volunteer activities, your interests, hobbies, or sports. So you can just write here, say you are a member of the cycling club. And then maybe you volunteer as a coastal cleanup volunteer. Say, cleanup volunteer. Number 20, are you presently an applicant or do you intend to apply for any other international exchange programs or scholarships? Click yes if yes, click no if no. For example, no. If your answer is yes, please give details. So, what scholarship program is it? What international exchange program is it? So, just type it here. Number 21, have you ever participated in the JET program? So, if yes, click yes. If no, click no. So let's say if you've joined JET program before, you click yes, and then what period? Just right here the year. For example, 2015 to 2016, and then you went back home and then you decided to apply again for the JET program for the 2023. So just right there. So contracting organization, let's say Okinawa. If not yet, if you don't have any, if you haven't participated in JET program yet, just click no. So for those previous applicants of the JET program, you can just, if you answered no, but you applied before, you can just say, you can also click here, I have applied to JET program, and then what year. So for example, last year you applied, so just right here, 2022. If not, just leave this blank. And then I have, or you have not participated in JET program, but you were offered placement before, but you withdrew your application, then check it here. And then at the following point in the application process, and due to the following reasons. So why did you withdraw? Take note that for those who have declined offers before, but they want to apply again, make sure that your reason is valid for you to be able to rejoin the program. Number 2022 is your marital status. Are you single, engaged, or married? Let's say married. So if you are married, are your dependents accompanying you to Japan? So if you don't have any plans yet, just leave this blank. But if you intend to go with your family, with your dependents, by the time that you fly to Japan, write their names. But for JET Program Philippines, we are suggesting, JET Program Philippines is actually encouraging every participant to wait after 3 months before they could bring their dependents to Japan. Number 24, do you possess a full driver's license? So yes, if you have a driver's license, like car driver's license, because there's a different license for motorcycles. No, if no, just write no. And then 25, assignment preferences. So JET participants are assigned to contracting organizations all over Japan. Assignments may not necessarily be made according to your preference. So yeah, just your preference, but this is not 100% guarantee that you will be placed on your placements. So for example, which area do you want to live? Is it an island, a rural, an urban, or no preference? So you can write here on no preference if you don't have any idea, but if you want to live in the top cities, you write here urban, If you want to live in the Inaka or the countryside, click rural. Or if you want to go to like Okinawa Island or some other islands, write island. So let's say urban and rural. So there, please choose one. So you have to choose one. So if you want the Inaka, Japanese Inaka life, choose rural. If you want the Tokyo life, Osaka life, click urban. And then your blocks or your preferences. So again, you have to refer to chart number 5 for the preferences of your prefectures. So they have here the blocks A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, H, and then no preference is N. So for example, you want to go to Tokyo Prefecture, you click here block B and then right here Tokyo, and then reason why do you want to go to Tokyo, and then your second choice, let's say Osaka Prefecture, type here E, and then Osaka Prefecture or Osaka City is fine. It depends on you if you want to go to the city, Tokyo or Osaka City, and then your reason. And then for your third choice, for example, you want to go to Sapporo City in Hokkaido, right here, Sapporo City, and then your reason. So for the reasons, try to write as short as you can. And then specific requests for placements. For example, you have medical reasons and it's difficult for you to get the necessary medications. You can write here a particular placement or a particular place, citing the reason for medical reasons. Or maybe you already have your family members living in Japan and you want to live with them. Just indicate on this part. And then for 26A, it's only for CIR applicants. For 26B, this is also for CIR applicants. So again, let's just skip this. For 26C are the arrival placements. For ALTs and CIR applicants from these countries, they can choose whether they'd want to arrive in Japan for the early arrivals, that's in April, or the usual summer arrivals that's late July or early August. And then number 27, where did you hear about the JET program? So for example, from your professors, former JET participants, current JET participants, you can check as many as you want. And then for number 28, your contact information, full name of emergency contact in the Philippines or in your home country. Full name, address, email address, occupation, and your relationship to them. And then don't forget to write the date of application, like when you intend to submit your application documents, and affix your signature after you printed this form out. So that's all for this video. I hope to see you in Japan. I'll see you again next time.